Hi, and welcome to Transit TV. Happy to have you. Today we want to talk about the first leg Champions League semi-finals between Real Madrid and Manchester City. The game that was played yesterday. Very, 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 very fantastic game of football between two solid teams. Tactical battle between two very successful and renowned coaches in the presence of Pep Guardiola and Ancelotti. This game was played at the Bernabeu yesterday in Spain, and it lived up to its billing, I must say. As a neutral, you were glued to your seat for 96 minutes or thereabout. According to the commentator yesterday, he said you wouldn't want to miss anything. I mean anything in the game. Yeah, today we're here to discuss and to look at the game yesterday, or the balance of play, the tactical approach of the two teams. We'll also try to look at the best the most outstanding performer in the game yesterday. Then we look at the key battles, about two or three of them that were very obvious yesterday in the game. We'll also look at how both teams might approach the second leg in Manchester next week. And at the end, I will also give you my take on who I think will go through in this one. So sit back and relax. And before we dive into the conversation, we'll beg you to hit the like button and subscribe to our new channel on our road to 1,000 subscribers. We trust you to support us in this journey. There we go. Balance of play. Apart from Real Madrid having a lot of the possession of the game, especially in the first half, there isn't much to, just as the scoreline also suggests, there isn't much difference in the balance of play. Yes, Real Madrid consciously or deliberately allowed Man City to have a lot of the possession, but they allowed those possessions in areas of the pitch where that wasn't dangerous to them. Real Madrid, had a very, very, very good defensive shape, and kept Manchester City as much as they can far away from their box. So, looking at that, if you didn't watch the game and look at the statistics, you might tend to think that Man City dominated the game. But in the real sense of it, they had the possession, but they didn't dominate the game. If you can say that, if you allow me to say that, Real Madrid did as usual. We all know how they play, and with their experience, they kind of controlled the game, but allowing Manchester City possession of the large chunk of the possession. I think it was 70-30 in the first half, without no penetration. So that tells you how the game panned out. Real Madrid, though playing at home, sat deep and relied on transition, which is what they know how to do best. Relied on the pace of Vinicius Jr. and Benzema. Benzema's ingenuity in possession and the pace of Rodri. And strangely, yesterday as well, Camavinga was allowed to really push forward and drive with the ball. So I think that was something, a little bit new that Ancelotti used yesterday to try to hurt Manchester City. So the balance of play, yes, the numbers show City to have a large chunk of possession, but the game itself was pretty much like a 50-50. It wasn't really, there was no clear-cut signs of either of the teams running away with the victory yesterday, and that's how the game ended. We have, and we witnessed two very, very, very superb and fantastic strikes strangely from Vinicius Jr. driving into the middle of the pitch, which is an area where we don't usually see him operate from, and gave a very, 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 very fantastic strike. To which Manchester City responded through KDB with another. I don't even know the word to describe that strike yesterday from KDB. But, I mean, knowing him, this is what he does. This is what he's been doing for many, many years now. Week in, week out. The fans in England will attest to that strike. Yeah, having said that, now we discuss the key battles that I said earlier on. And for the sake of this section, I identified three of them. The first one was between, where do we start from? Rudiger and Haaland. Rudiger, as we know, came in for the suspended Militao, who has been very solid for Real Madrid all season. But in this game, Rudiger had to come in for him because he's suspended for this leg. And I was saying this battle between Haaland and Rudiger yesterday was top notch, at the same time very funny. We all know the antecedents of Rudiger and how he approaches his game, very physical and combative. And in this one again, you can't really say either of them won the battle. It was a fierce one and keenly contested by the both of them, and they gave good account of themselves. Rudiger tried as much as possible to keep Haaland quiet, though he was helped by the shape Real Madrid took in the game, which meant that there was no space between the midfielders and the defense of Real Madrid, and there was no space for Haaland to run into. So he couldn't really use his space yesterday because of the way the game was shaped. He relied more on power and, hold up play. And that one, he actually deserves a video of his own to talk about. Then we moved to the midfield, which was an area, even before the game, everyone knew that it was going to be very, very vital to who comes on top on this one. Real Madrid deployed more of a defensive shape in their midfield, making Luka Modric the little magician, a little playing deeper and close to Cruz in the midfield. And as a matter of fact, I observed that he also served as a cover for Camavinga, who was given license yesterday to drive forward. So Luka Modric was more conservative in his approach in the midfield, which allowed City midfielders to attack more and have possession. So the City midfield was doing more of the attacking, while the Real Madrid were more defensive and conservative. And again, on this one, you're not going to say either of the sides had an upper hand or won the battle. It was keenly contested. The pace of Rodrigo and Valverde helped Real Madrid to get away in transition, which also, I know a lot of people are not going to agree on this one, but I feel yesterday, especially in the first half, that Manchester City was they were a little bit apprehensive. They were unsure, or didn't look very confident going forward. And I think this is because of the pace they know that Real Madrid has behind, and the expert way that Real Madrid, deployed their transition play against teams on the counter. So I think that played in the minds of City a little bit for the large part of the first half until they considered that goal. Apparently, there was no other way than to go all out to try to get back the goal, which credit to them, they did. So I think that battle was in the midfield was as well to push forward, especially earlier in the game. And Vinicius Jr., on the other hand, kept driving and driving. He got his goal, but which was a fantastic one. But I'm not going to say because of the goal he won the battle between him and Walker, because he got that goal from the middle of the defensive side of Real Madrid. And I think this is because Walker was firmly present and ready for the battle and battled him on the wings. So once he got that space in the middle, he used it, and that was, there were one or two occasions where Walker lost him, and he played in a particular occasion, very, very fantastic ball for Karim Benzema to tap in, but Ederson was there, dived in, and I think that ball was cleared by Laporte. So that's another battle, in the game. And for the fact that we are not able to, say in these battles, this one player won and the other one lost, that tells you exactly how the game panned out and how the result of the game, perfectly, describes the way the game panned out. And I think on that one, it was as well a 50-50. I wouldn't call it, that Vinicius or Walker won the battle. Then we move to what I always, when I watch a game, I try to pick out one or two players I would think, regardless of the qualities of all the players, but for the match itself, I try to pick out a player that I believe his performance was more outstanding. It's sometimes a couple of players, but in this game, I'm going to pick one player. And I'm picking this player because of the position he's playing and the way he applied himself yesterday. And now there's no other person than the young Camavinga. This young dude is a midfielder by trade. And in the last few weeks or couple of months, Atlanta has deployed him as a left back to cover up for the injured Davis. And he has played this role like is his original position. It reminds me of Saka of Arsenal, starting as a left back, left wing back, left midfielder, and now he's playing on the right wing of Arsenal attack. Camavinga yesterday was immense. That young man was immense. Defensively, he put in tackles, was not dribble past. And most interesting part of his game yesterday that he drove forward. He drove forward into the midfield, on the wings, And they had a say in the goal that Vinicius Junior scored as well. So for that, I pick him as my most outstanding player of the game. And his stats in this game support that, which we're going to look at, at the end of this video. And the last session of this video, we're looking at a little cameo preview of the second leg. Yeah, we're still going to preview the game before the match next week. But I want to also looking at how this game panned out yesterday. I meant to say, I don't think it's going to be anything much different from what we saw yesterday. Though I expect Manchester City to be a little bit more adventurous in their approach. They're going to be if they have the support of their home crowd and convenience of their stadium, which will make them to be a little bit more adventurous. Of course, I expect Real Madrid to continue in their approach of sitting deep and try to hit City on the counter. And this will, I believe, is going to also serve us a very, very tasty tie, because at this point, somebody has to win. So it's going to be a little bit more adventurous from both sides. And I think the flow of the game will be determined by what happens, maybe probably in the first. If any of the sides scores the first 5, 10, 15 minutes of the game, then we are in for a very, very interesting game. Having said that, before we go with our prediction for who is going to go through on this one, hit the like button and subscribe to our young channel on our road to 1,000 subscribers. We're counting on you to do just that. Hit the like button and share our video too, and support our movement. Yeah, before we go on this tie, I am predicting a Real Madrid advancement to the finals. I feel, having watched the two sides, City have been conceding a lot of goals recently, both in the league. They concede goals. They've been relying on outscoring their opponents to win games. Real Madrid in their league, I know they concede goals as well. But when it comes to Champions League, their mentality is different. And from what I saw yesterday, I believe, though it's not going to be, I'm not calling this clearly, but I have a feeling that Real Madrid will come tops in this one. But I wouldn't be surprised if Man City does as well. But I feel that Madrid will take this one over 2 legs. Thank you for watching Transit TV. Hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Bye for now, and thank you for watching.